The L-39 Albatros is an elegant jet that has trained pilots and participated in conflicts across 4 continents. It is one of the most popular jet trainers and ranks 4th globally in terms of production behind the US T-33, Soviet MiG-15 UTI, and its direct predecessor, the L-29 Delphin. Not only used by air forces, the aircraft has also gained popularity among civilian contractors and private owners. Today, we're investigating the L-39, the feather in the cap of the Czech aviation industry. The L-39 is indeed a remarkable aircraft in many respects. Its nickname, Albatros, was so well known in the West that NATO chose not to assign a reporting name. Aero manufactured more than 2,800 L-39s, which have served with over 30 air forces. Many might argue that its success depends on its selection as the Warsaw Pact's jet trainer. However, by the time its production ceased in 1999, the First Cold War had long ended and the USSR had dissolved, and Czechoslovakia had already split into 2 separate nations. Its newer version continues to attract new customers. After evaluating the Polish TS-11 Iskra and the Soviet TAG-30 in 1961, the Warsaw Pact chose the L-29 Delphin as its standardized jet trainer. However, due to advances in aviation technology, the aircraft rapidly became outdated. Additionally, many users criticized its low-mounted air intakes as they were unsuitable for operation from semi-prepared runways. The Delphin's modernization potential was insufficient to meet new demands. Consequently, the Czechoslovak Socialist Republic began developing a new jet trainer as early as 1963 in collaboration with allies, especially the future primary customer, the USSR. Preliminary specifications for the new aircraft and its dependent subsystems were issued in January 1964, and the final technical specifications followed within 7 months. At that point, the name L-39 Albatros was also confirmed. The Czechoslovak engineers initially considered equipping the aircraft with twin turbojet engines to enhance reliability. However, such a design would add weight, complicate maintenance, and increase fuel consumption, among other drawbacks. Therefore, they opted for a single-engine design as the reliability of the new turbofans was already quite high. Between 1964 and 1966, wind tunnel tests were carried out in Czechoslovakia, followed by additional wind tunnel tests in the USSR, which concluded in 1968. 7 Albatros prototypes were built. The first and fourth were static and fatigue tests, while the others were flying examples. Aero was the main contractor responsible for manufacturing the nose and mid-fuselage sections and for final assembly. Other Czechoslovak companies led and Letov respectively produced the wings and tail sections. When the airframe of the first flying prototype, the X-02, was just completed in 1968, the Prague Spring broke out. However, this tragic event had little impact on the program. The aircraft made its maiden flight on November 4, 1968. 10 minutes after landing, the X-02 had to take off again to perform aerobatics for high-ranking government officials who had just arrived at the facility. The final prototype, the X-07, had a higher takeoff weight, leading to slightly reduced performance compared to earlier machines, but it remained generally acceptable. The initial plan was to start the mass production in 1971. However, Aero was too occupied with other projects, such as building the final batches of L-29s and MiG-21s, overhauling Su-7s, and so forth. Furthermore, the Soviet Ivchenko company, the producer of the AI-25TL engine, fell behind schedule on deliveries. Consequently, in 1971, Prague ordered only a pilot batch of 10 L-39Cs fitted with the AI-25W. The letter C at the end represented the Czech word Svichna, meaning training. On March 28, 1972, 5 aircraft were delivered to the Czechoslovak Air Force's flight school. These aircraft would be re-equipped with the AI-25TL in 1974. In 1973, the X-07, which fully adhered to the L-39C production configuration, flew to the USSR for state testing by the Soviet Air Force. Aero completed the final design modifications in 1974 based on reports from Soviet pilots. Mass production finally began in 1974 and lasted until December 1999. Over 2,950 aircraft were built, excluding the first 7 prototypes. The most widely produced version was the L-39C trainer with 2,280 units, of which 2,080 were delivered to the Soviet Air Force. The L-39C is a part of a comprehensive training system that includes the TL-39 Pilot Training Flight Simulator, the NK-TL-2939 Pilot Ejection Ground Training Simulator, and the AKZ-KL-39 Vehicle-Mounted Mobile Automatic Test Equipment. Similar to the fuselage and tail section, the cantilever low wings are all metal with a 2 degrees and 30 minutes dihedral from the roots. Air intakes above the wings prevent ingestions of foreign objects during ground operations. About 20% of the parts can be easily removed, and the carefully designed locations and dimensions of service hatches make ground maintenance significantly easier. The fuselage consists of 2 parts. The crew can detach the tail section to replace the engine. The cockpit is partially pressurized, requiring crew to wear oxygen masks above 7,000 meters. It provides excellent visibility for both instructor and trainee with instruments that resemble those in the MiG-21 cockpit. It can be armed for training and usually has gyro gun sight only in the forward position. Its combat capability is insufficient for light attack missions. The engine can be started without ground equipment. When flaps are retracted, the L-39C executes the same landing approach as a MiG-21. The robust and reliable Albatros remains popular, with many operators extending its lifespan via traditional repairs at low cost. The L-39C is the first trainer aircraft equipped with a turbofan. This engine lacks sufficient thrust, particularly during vertical maneuvers above 1,000 meters. Due to gas dynamic instability, reaching high angles of attack risks surge, turbine overheating, and other problems. Nonetheless, the Albatros can perform +8-4G maneuvers. Some aerobatic teams, including the Biela Albatrosi of Slovakia and Ukrainsky Sokoli of Ukraine, flew with L-39s. The twin-seat L-39C has a length of 12.13 meters, a wingspan of 9.46 meters, a height of 4.77 meters, and a wing area of 18.8 square meters. The aircraft's empty and maximum takeoff weights are 3,455 and 4,700 kilograms, respectively. One 16.87 kilonewton Ivchenko AI-25TL turbofan engine provides a top speed of 750 kilometers per hour. The L-39C has a range of 1,750 kilometers. Its service ceiling is 11,000 meters, equivalent to 36,000 feet. The aircraft features 2 pylons and can carry up to 284 kilograms of ordnance. Many users modernized their L-39Cs, including the Slovak L-39CM and the Ukrainian L-39M1. The L-39V was the single-seat target tag variant. Aero developed the L-39ZO as an interim export version for weapons training. It has 4 underwing pylons and can carry 1,150 kilograms of ordnance. The L-39ZA was developed from the L-39ZO for armed training and light attack duties. Equipped with a stronger landing gear, the aircraft can carry 1,290 kilograms of ordnance and can also be fitted with a 23mm twin-barreled Gusha 23L gun pod beneath the fuselage. Thanks to K-13 and R-60 missiles, it possesses air-to-air combat capability. Slovakia modernized its L-39ZAs and redesignated them as the L-39ZAM. Similarly, the Thai L-39ZAs were upgraded with Elbit avionics. Also known as the L-39ZA ART, the Royal Thai Air Force referred to this version as BKHF-1. Ara developed the L-39MS, later redesignated as the L-59 Albatros, as the second generation of the aircraft. Alongside a strengthened fuselage and a longer nose, it features a 21.6 kilonewton Lotarev DV tow engine, allowing for greater payload, and a speed of 872 kilometers per hour. Its cockpit is also updated. The company developed a single prototype variant called L-139 Albatros 2000, fitted with Western avionics, and a 17.99 kN Garrett TFE 731-41T engine. Derived from the Aero L-59, the L-159 ALTA includes a single-seat A combat and two-seat B advanced trainer versions. It features more modern Western avionics and a 28.2 kN Honeywell iTech F124 engine. The L-39 Skyfox version, also known by its development name L-39NG, features a 16.89 kN Williams FJ44 engine, an enhanced fuel system, and upgraded avionics. The L-39 has been among the jet trainers with a hectic combat career. On September 28, 1985, a US AH-1S Cobra violated the Czechoslovak border as many had done before. An L-39 from the 5th Fighter Aviation Regiment intercepted the helicopter, crossed the West German border while tracking it, fired S-5 rockets, then returned to Czechoslovakia. Piloted both Afghan and Soviet pilots, Afghan L-39s occasionally carry out attack missions during the Soviet-Afghan War. For example, in 1979, from August 24th to August 30th, they conducted 11 combat sorties. Soviet L-39s also took part in the war in Afghanistan. After the fall of the Najibullah government in 1992, local factions, including the Taliban, continued operating Albatrosses in various internal conflicts. By the time the USA launched its operation in Afghanistan, not a single operational aircraft remained. After the USSR dissolved, the aircraft have fought over many former territories. Azerbaijan inherited many Albatrosses and used them in the First Nagorno-Karabakh War. Armenians claim to have shot down at least 5 of them with ground fire. On December 10, 1992, Abkhazian L-39s attacked Georgian troops preparing for an offensive. The aircraft then participated in the fight for Sukhumi. In a friendly fire incident in 1993, a Russian Buk air defense system, whose NATO reporting name is SA-11 Godfly, shot down an Abkhazian Albatros. Just before the First Chechen War, the separatists inherited many L-39s. When the local anti-Aérea forces attempted to seize Grozny, an Albatros undertook a reconnaissance flight on October 4, 1994, but it was shot down by manpads. On November 29, Russia openly entered the war in Chechnya and within 3 days destroyed all aircraft. Kyrgyzstan deployed L-39s in operations against Islamist militants. On February 24, 2022, Russian aircraft shot down a Ukrainian L-39 during the early hours of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. On August 25, 2023, 2 Ukrainian L-39s collided during a combat mission. The L-39 participated in the Eritrean War of Independence and subsequent Eritrean-Ethiopian War. The Ethiopian air defenses occasionally targeted their own Albatrosses as ground observers mistook them for Italian MB-339s in service with the Eritrean Air Force. On November 13, 1998, they shot down an L-39 in a friendly fire incident. During the Chadian-Libyan War, the Chadians captured the airbase at Wadi Dum within Chad, along with 11 L-39s in March 1987. They also destroyed 4 additional Albatrosses on the ground during an attack on the base at Matnussara in Libya on September 5th of the same year. It is still fighting in the Libyan civil war. The Nigerian and Malian L-39s have frequently served in combat against Islamist militants. During the Syrian civil war, the Syrian Air Force regularly deployed L-39s in counter-insurgency operations. Opposing groups shot some of them down. They also destroyed several others on the ground. On March 3, 2020, a Turkish F-16 also shot down a Syrian Albatros. In 1986, Libya started delivering some L-39ZOs to Nicaragua. The Sandinistas used them against Contra forces as well as speedboats that were constantly raiding coastal installations and attacking fishing and merchant vessels. On September 26, 1987, Romanian pilot Mihai Smayaski flew his L-39ZA to Turkey seeking political asylum. L-39 played a vital role during the First Cold War and the subsequent unipolar world order. Its newer variants still attract new customers in this era, which we call the Second Cold War. Over 50 years, it has trained pilots, fought, and dazzled audiences with mesmerizing maneuvers at air shows. The L-39 is undoubtedly a true legend. Thanks for watching our video, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments, and shares.